On this week's episode, fireworks sales go live, but should they? A country music band sets a trend and changes their name. The top jobs that pay more than a decade ago. Is your career on the list? And a literal worst we can all agree on. Thank you for joining another episode of Anchors Away. I am Robert Burns along with Norma Holland, both of us former TV news anchors, now putting our radio voices on. Norma, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I sure can. How are you, friend?
If you've got the phrase that pays, you'll win $1,000. Do you have the phrase that pays?
Do I have the phrase that pays?
The phrase that pays here on 99 Jiggy Jiggy Jams. If you know what it is, be calling number 9, and we will get you some cash to pay that rent. I'm not lying.
Ami.
I'm not lying. That is the radio station in Miami. It was
Jiggy
99
Jiggy Jams.
99 Jiggy Jams is what they said it was, but it was 99 Jams. It was like 99.1. It was the hip hop and R&B station down there. Played all the top music. They played the jams. I will say that.
Again, at the end.
It did have. How did you know? Every other radio station ever that had jams in it put a Z at the end. We do not have a Z in our Anchors Away, but thank you for listening. And if you have not already subscribed, please make sure you do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen. It is free because that's how podcasts are. We may do an ad here or there, but hey, we like coffee, and that's really all we're trying to afford with this. So thank you for listening to us. And we're just going to rant for a few minutes this week because it is a holiday weekend, although a very odd sense in the 4th of July from what we're used to feeling.
So much so. Truly, it's a holiday, but there's no fireworks. Or should I say, there is no municipal fireworks shows that you can see and hear from your home. There are fireworks, so yes, indeed. In fact, the ones you can hear every night as you put your children to sleep. Yes, that's been my existence the last.
Is that what's going on over in your house right now?
Yes. The girls wake up and they go, "What's that boom, boom sound, Mommy?" And I go, "Oh, it's fireworks, firecrackers somewhere." But these are not just like, firecrackers, that we grew up with. I mean, these things sound like literal bombs going off, loud, Yeah,
they're obnoxious. And fortunately, my dog is not too scared of the fireworks, but a lot of dogs are.
Yes.
And you and I have covered, I'm sure, stories every year. It's the same thing, how to make sure you soundproof for your pets or your kids or whatever it is from the people out there who want to, light some fireworks and they live in an area to do it. Now, if you live in the city, not the wisest move.
No. It's not, because you're going to be, you're not the only one hearing it. You don't live in a bubble when you have neighbors that are right next door to you. It's one thing if you're in the country and you can do that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, it used to be a time when you had to go to another state to get fireworks.
I remember that.
Now they are in every store, everywhere you go. I was in Costco today, and there they were, Sparklers, I think, I'm okay with sparklers. That's one thing.
Yeah.
Right.
But do you remember the movie? Have you ever seen Joe Dirt?
Oh my gosh, so long ago.
You only have to watch it once, but there was that one scene in Joe Dirt.
So you're going to tell me that you don't have no black cats, no Roman candles, or screaming mimes?
No.
Oh, come on, man. You don't got no lady fingers, buzz buttles, snicker bombs, church burners, finger blasters, gut busters, zippity doo-dahs, or crap flappers?
No, I don't.
You're going to stand there owning a fireworks stand and tell me you don't have no whistling bungholes, no spleen splitters, whisker biscuits, honky lighters, hoosker do's, hoosker don'ts, cherry bombs, nipsy daisers, with or without the scooter stick, or one single whistling kitty chaser?
No. Because snakes and sparklers are the only ones I like.
That is my favorite scene in the entire movie. You mean to tell me that you are going to own a fireworks stand and not have whiskey do's, whiskey don'ts,
spleen splitters,
And I want to know how many takes it took David Spade to kind of go through that scene, because it was so fast and so rampant. It's kind of like in the movie Ted, where what's his face in the movie, Mark Wahlberg, has to rattle off all the names of the girls that Ted is dating. None of us could ever remember that, and I could never remember that many fireworks. However, I will say I was kind of caught off guard earlier this week. I was in the car turned on. Normally I plug my phone in, but the regular radio came on and the radio hosts came on. I'm not going to say who it was, but there was one woman who was on the show, and she was talking about fireworks. And she said, and I'm driving around in this town, and I see these stands, these firework stands. What are they selling in there? And the three guys that were the other co-hosts of the show got really quiet, and one just got close to the mic and said, "Fireworks?" with a question mark and an upward inflection. And she says, "Oh, yeah. And then she made her point was, maybe they're selling fireworks, but I thought you weren't allowed to." And I have seen these fireworks stands in every market I have worked in every city that I've worked in, big or small. They pop up just like the Halloween stores pop up in the old Walgreens or CVS buildings.
Yes, and so years ago, they were allowed in, I think it's Ontario County, which is a county outside of Monroe County, where this show is being recorded. So you could go to another county and they'd have those roadside stands. And I remember us doing stories about that, and you could not get them in Monroe County. That has changed. I know that there used to be a stand just up the street from the station where people could buy them. You'd see the white tent pop up and you knew it's that time of year. Yeah. Yeah, so, you'd have to go to Pennsylvania sometimes before they were legal.
Were you ever a big other than watching the big shows? I never really cared for them.
I mean, it was. I remember playing with cap guns. Like, remember cap guns? You had the little thing, and you would press the button, or you'd take a rock, and we had sparklers. But no, not really. I was always. My mother really just, put the fear of God into us about fire and flames, and she just, was like, yeah, no. Just don't bother setting them off,
And there's so many injuries that can happen. If you remember a couple of years ago, there was the NFL player, Jason Pierre-Paul, who had a fireworks accident where he blew off part of his fingers because he held on too long. And so, there's a lot of things that kind of go along with it that you have to keep in mind. We had the little things you threw on the ground and they made the little pop noise.
Yep.
A couple other small things, but they never did anything to me. I always wanted to see the big, like the Disney explosions or, the big fireworks or the county that they put on. Those are the ones I always wanted to watch.
You can't help but love those. I think everyone loves those, no matter who you are, kid, adult, elderly. Everyone loves those fireworks.
Yeah, and you show up, and all you really need, and you will show up as late as possible. Just make it before the finale. That's it. As long as you make it before the finale, the kids see it, you see it. You can be in the car. Doesn't matter. You just got to be in the area. You got to hear that big
My
boom.
sister lives in a town where she can see them from her front lawn.
That's convenient.
Every year she has a party. And so it's weird. This year there is no party. It's also my niece's first birthday. So that's going to sort of take over what we're missing in terms of the party that we used to have for 4th of July. I mean, that doesn't matter anymore. Now it's all about her. But we're not going to have fireworks, but I'm going to have cake, right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So totally, it's okay. It's weird, but I'm still going to enjoy the day because I'm going to see my little baby niece, cake smash, that's just going to be fun for me.
And that's going to be the best part of the holiday. Yeah. And for most people, that's the best part of it. So, however, our listeners are going to be bringing in the 4th of July. Enjoy yourself, but be safe out there.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we do want to thank our sponsor for this show, Anchor. It's the easiest way for us to bring you the podcast. They give us everything we need. It's all in one place. And most importantly, it's all free. Everything on our iPhones, on our iPads, on our computers, all the creation tools to edit, it's all included, and they distribute the show for us. Send it to Spotify, send it to Apple, send it to Google. So you can start your own podcast, get in on the game, download the Anchor app, or go to anchor.fm to get started. All right, our second story, news to know for you out there. There is a lot of different changes going on in the world that we live in, a lot of name changes, a lot of TV show changes. The Golden Girls are now under fire, all types of things that people can get very emotional on and very vocal on. Well, one of the things that I notice, and it confuses me on two different levels, as you hear my dog with his tennis ball behind me. There's a few different things that confuse me on this. The country band, the Dixie Chicks, they are now changing their name to just the Chicks. Which one? I thought there was already a band called the Chicks, but maybe I was wrong. It seems like it's such a generic name. There would have been a band already called the Chicks. But two, they've already got music and songs that they're promoting for it. But two, now I don't know what to call the group of women, because back in my day when I was out on the streets, we would say, "Hey, look at the group of chicks over there," and so we can't say that anymore. And I don't know, other than saying, "Look at that proper young group of women standing by the pool. Don't they just look so delightful and joyous in their day?" I can't say
ladies.
These lovely ladies. Yeah, I get it. But it's a thing. Another thing I got to remember not to say in terms of in conversation. And there's obvious ones, but now I'm confused. And you talked about this, Norma. Whatever you women want to be called, we're gonna call you that. And I get it.
You just do what we say.
That's
pretty
it.
much what we say is what you do, and that's it. And that's the rule. Okay,
yeah, it'll change.
And if you follow that golden rule, you will avoid any and all argument, and life will be good for you. I personally, I don't know. You know, it's funny you say that, chicks. I remember somebody, it was a man, called me hun or something. He used the phrase, "Okay, hun," and I was like, "Hun? I'm not your hun." Like, I took real offense to it, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if a woman called me that, I wouldn't really care. Yeah. But it was the fact that there was this older man, which I don't know. I guess
it's a generational thing. I mean, they used to call women all types of different names, and obviously
broads,
a lot of them were stupid. You know,
gals.
You know. My grandfather says broads.
Broads,
you know, but he's 80 years old. You know, it's something that they said
broad.
back in the day. Like, look at these broads. You know, and it's that it's not malicious. It's just how they how they mentioned a group of women out there, and it's going to change again. Like, everything is changing. It's going to change again.
Men? Dudes?
Yeah,
a bunch of dudes.
What you call us has not changed in the history of it's guys, dudes, dogs.
Guys,
dudes, whatever.
Dogs.
It's
DAWG.
It's
dogs,
really
with a Z at the end.
It's whatever's in that first third of the alphabet. A, B, C, D.
Boys.
Yeah. Right there, when you get to about G, that's where it cuts off. You don't go anything else after that unless your name is Horatio. It doesn't make a difference. And I don't know any guy named Horatio hitting on a group of chicks.
Horatio. Oh, Horatio. Look, I'm sorry to all the Horatios out there, but you can't have game with Horatio. Like,
I'm
just
sorry.
Can't.
That is one of the names that does not work. Like, "Hi, honey, my name's Horatio." You got to change it, okay?
Call it Horat?
You have to change your name when you hit on a woman at that point.
Can we go back to Golden Girls? You can't drop that on me without. What is the problem with Golden Girls now?
So there is a scene in Golden Girls. There's a couple things, because I think it was Blanche. Was Blanche the Southern one?
Yes.
So Blanche held a party where she tried to post up a Confederate flag. And she was saying it was her granddaddy's flag. And so that's one of the episodes. And I think there was another episode where I read they were doing face masks, but it looked like blackface. And so it's a very touchy subject right now. So at this point, a lot of people are saying it has a couple of different meanings. It's the Golden Girls to me. And again, it was a different time. Like my grandfather with broads, it was a different time. And even the people associated with the show says it was just they were doing face masks. They weren't doing that, but there are people who are taking it another way. And so it's really how you look at it and how you interpret it. So Golden Girls is coming under fire a little bit. A lot of those shows that have references from decades ago, touchy subject for a lot of people. As Norma thinks, or is frozen.
And second guess.
How
about now?
Yeah, no, you're good. You were just
second guess everything.
Yeah, and that's a lot of where this topic started with the Dixie Chicks changing to a lot of things are having a ripple effect because of the way society is now, and a lot of it is good, a lot of it is needed, a lot of it is you're looking for stuff, I think, and so some people are trying to play that fine line of where do I fit in, or where do I see things. So, couple things to consider. That's some news to know. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back after about 30 to 60 seconds for the B block to let you know if your job is in for a big raise.
Are you afraid to go into your own basement, or maybe that one room at work because it's full of old electronics that no one has any idea what to do with? Well, now there's a way you can turn that trash into something good. Reclaim your basement, garage, or that office at work by getting a hold of Sun King Recycling. They can work with you and your business to make sure that your old electronics are recycled correctly and any old data doesn't fall into the wrong hands. Plus, they started eScrap for Camp, where funds raised through recycling electronics are donated to help improve the quality of life for children, adults, and families whose lives have been touched by cancer. Check them out online at sunking.com, sunking.com.
Welcome back for the B block of Anchors Away. So the story here that we want to talk about and take a few minutes is, I saw this on Business Insider. It was 16 jobs where people make far more now than they would have 10 years ago. First off, where were you 10 years ago?
Working in television.
Well, that's obvious, considering what this show is based on. Yes, working in television. You were still in Rochester, though. I think you've been here more than 10 years. Yeah.
Yes, 23.
Okay. 23 years. So 10 years ago, you were working. Were you full-time anchoring at that point? Were you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So
full-time anchor.
Okay, so different salary bracket on that range.
Different tax bracket.
10 years ago, I was...
10
years ago, what was that? 2000. This is based on 2019, so 2009, I was in still my first reporting job in Lafayette, Louisiana. And I think I've mentioned this earlier in previous episodes. My starting salary out of college was $23,000 a year, living in Louisiana before state taxes.
Wow.
And so clearly salaries have changed over the 10-year span, especially in television, as you move up to different markets, as you move over to different positions, and you go from reporter to seasoned reporter to anchor. As you know, that age or wage gap rather is a little bit wider. So these are, and I was surprised by some of these jobs. I would have never thought that over the past 10 years that inflation would have hit as much as it did.
Sure.
And I think I'm going to look at really, you and I went over the top 5.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go through here as briefly as I can. These are the top 16, so a very random number. But I'm going to go through the top 10 and see if any of these stick out. Actually, number 14 is an advertising and promotions manager. In the past 10 years, 21% of a wage increase has happened there. So the annual average wage is $116,393. That was back in 2009, which means you're now getting paid $141,890.
Wow.
However, the amount of people have gone down from 35,000 to 25,000 employees with this particular title. So those are really the prerequisites on there for this. A lot of these numbers, or a lot of these ratings are laborers. These are some blue collars. I'm talking rail yard engineers. I'm talking, airline pilots is on there. That's not really, breaking bricks. Hoist and winch operators, getting a 26% raise on there. A lot of it, though, has to do with the arts that I'm noticing. And even number 1 on this list is going to probably surprise a lot of people, because number 10 is a costume attendant. They have had 27% of an increase in their annual salary over the past 10 years.
Costume attendant. Is this a person who helps the stars or the actors get into their... Okay.
That is exactly who it is. The people who not necessarily design the costume, not the costume designer, but the ones who help you get in and get out of Lady Macbeth's outfit, whatever it is. You've got a 20...
Bring me my britches.
Exactly. And the britches are brought.
I said rich. The britches.
Number 8 on this list, as we mosey right along, number 8 on the list is a funeral home manager.
Yeah, well, there's job security.
Surprising. Annual wage last year in 2019 was $95,000 to be a funeral manager, as opposed to $71,000. So rent's getting paid. Private household cooks, that's surprising to me.
Yeah.
Do you want to
The
know how?
lifestyles.
I'll give you a wild guess on how much the annual salary is for a full-time, I don't know about full-time, but a private household cook.
Oh, gosh. Private. Meaning they're in your house cooking for you?
Meaning
Like they come
are-
every day to cook for you?
It doesn't give me any sort of details on it, but a private household cook would make me think someone's coming to your home and cooking for you.
Yeah.
And I
Wow.
will give you the hint, the salary is lower than what you're probably thinking.
Well, I mean, are we talking six figures?
I'm talking $45,600 in 2019 to be a private household cook. That is a lot lower than what I
Yeah.
thought it would be.
Well, I'm talking because a lot of people get their breakfast, lunch, and dinner from like a service or a professional chef who cook the food and you pick it up. Like they cook it, package it up, and you bring it home and eat it. That's lower than I would expect. Absolutely. I mean, if you're cooking my meals, I would expect you to be making a whole lot more than that.
Exactly. However, if you think about it, if I'm looking at it this way, and I don't know this, there's no basis for this, but I'm thinking if you're a private household cook, you're probably also have a couple of other clients.
Yeah, I was going to say,
So you're
if you've
making
got more
45
than one
grand
client, you could
a
bank.
client.
Yeah.
If you do that and you have 3 and you're able to pull it off, well then yeah, you're making 120 grand. But if you have
Yeah.
only time for one or one
Yeah.
needy client, you're making a lot less than probably thought. Our jobs, by the way, are not on the list, Norma. we are pretty consistent on the lower tier of the pay rate scale.
Surprise, surprise.
I'm going to run through these because some of them kind of go together with each other. Number 5 on the list is wood pattern makers, getting a 38% raise over the past 10 years. Number 4 is a wood model maker. The guy who's making birdhouses is getting a higher raise
Wait,
than we
what?
are. The guy making
With what?
birdhouses is making $57,000 a year in 2019.
He's whittling wood.
He is a wood model maker. That is the title. And his name is
Not
Horatio.
a wood whittler.
Yes. Farm labor contractors. They're number 3 on the list. Prosthodontists. That as the highest salary, it looks like, on this list, going from $149,000 10 years ago to $220,000, $221,000 a year.
I could see that though. I mean,
That's
if
a
you,
much more in-depth job.
I
than
would
what's-
think. Yeah,
than what's
clearly.
number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
Number
No
1 on
doubt.
this list is theatrical and performance makeup artists. On the top jobs that make far more than they did 10 years ago, I will give you one quick guess on what the salary may be, 6 figures or not, yay or nay, call it.
I'm going to say yeah.
No, it is $81,000 for a theatrical and performance makeup artist. However, with the news breaking earlier this week that they are going to be out of a job completely for the rest of the year if they live in New York City, because Broadway has decided, because of the pandemic, to shut down all shows until January, at least January of 2021. So the number 1 wage increase over the past 10 decades has the sharpest drop in wage decrease over the rest of the year.
Meanwhile, the man who brings me my britches, he doesn't have a job either.
No,
the
he does
britch,
not.
the britch bringer ain't got a job either.
Oh, the britch bringer. May his job be secure, as everybody, we hope. May your jobs be secure when all this kind of fades out into the dust. But
Yes.
I was surprised. Not a lot of those jobs. One, I even know anyone who does, nor
don't
did
know
I
a wood
expect
modeler.
them. No, wood maker. That's the one where
wood.
the guy doesn't pay attention in wood shop, and then this one now he's making.
Although,
bank.
have you ever seen the cost of one of those like butcher block things, like either a butcher block chopping board or cutting board or an actual butcher block table? You ever seen how much those cost?
For a good one, they're expensive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, it's wood, but all right, sure.
You're paying for what you get. You want to make sure you get a good solid piece of oak. I think a lot of it has to go with the wood, where it's coming from. But if you get yourself a really good craftsman, that's the key, is you got to find a really good craftsman. And if
Get you a craftsman.
preferably his name is Horatio. Horatio is going to have every job, by the way, on the list. This entire show is dedicated to anyone named Horatio.
Horatio.
I don't even know
Horatio.
what a nickname for Horatio would be.
I don't even want to say, yo, Horatio.
Horatio nicknames. I'm getting fonts.
I don't know.
Apparently, Harry, Ray, or Ratio. Very difficult names to kind of come through. Horace. You're not picking up any chicks with Horace. I'm sorry. And we come back full circus. Full circle
Ratio,
here,
man.
not full circus.
How you doing, Horatio? How you doing, Ratio? Ray, yo, Ray.
How you doing? My name is Horace. I own the bar.
Do you need a cough drop, horse? I mean, do you need a what? You horse, Horatio? Where are we going? Who are we?
We're going to take a breather, and then we will do what I feel is going to be everyone's common ground in the literal worst, coming up right after this.
Recent Hall of Fame inductee Brian Urlacher talks candidly about spending his entire career being bald and why he chose Restore to help regrow his hair.
My whole career I was pretty much bald, so people just got to know me as being a bald guy. I did wonder what it would be like if I could have hair. Once I got my consultation at Restore, the decision was easy.
Introducing Restore Hair's new breakthrough procedure called follicular unit extraction that doesn't require any cutting or stitches and will actually regrow your own hair, leaving you with a hairline that is soft, natural, and undetectable. And it can all be done in one day.
I feel better with hair. People can't believe that it's my hair. Just an amazing experience for me, and I owe it all to Restore.
Call us today, 800-880-6767 right now for your free consultation and get a $500 discount. That's 800-880-6767. Call 800-880-6767 now or visit restorehair.com.
The tradition of Festivus begins with the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
Doesn't get any older. That is, first off, may Frank Costanza rest in peace, Jerry
I was
Stone.
going to say, yeah. Oh,
so many great moments from that show. The literal worst this week for me, because we didn't have one last week. We took a break so we can talk about the poll. This week comes from my own mother, who says the literal worst is when they rearrange your grocery store and you don't know where the hell anything is after that.
I'm with her.
That is the literal worst.
Yeah.
You don't know where the produce is. You don't know where any of your stuff is. Your staples are now scattered all over the place.
You've just doubled the time that you're going to spend in the grocery store. Doubled it. Easily. Doubled it. You'll be asking
100%.
for directions the whole way through the store. You don't know where things are.
That's the day that you go up and down every single aisle, trying to remap in your mind where things are. That way, next time you come, you know where shampoo is, you know where cereal is. And you know what? And whenever they do that, they always put stuff in the stupidest place next to each other, you know?
Yeah. Like, I went into a store, a big grocery store, and they switched the freezer section around. Okay. Not about you, but I live for an ice cream sandwich these days. Okay. And my girls love popsicles. So all I want to do is go in, get the frozen stuff, get out. Right. But no. And they got these new fancy freezers. Right. And everything is now vertical. Right. And so you got to look around. You can't find anything. I know I'm giving it away. I don't care, but I can't find my stuff. Okay. You don't do that.
Confusing all moms in the country. Every single one that has to go into a grocery store. And now, don't forget your face mask. Don't forget to bring your bags. Don't forget your phone keys, wallet. And you won't know where anything is. They're making it where we have to do the online delivery service. Because I don't want to go in there and spend a half hour going up and down for 3 things.
I don't. We're told to stay out of the stores, go only if necessary, but then you're going to move everything around on me. Well, guess what? I won't go, and you can just bring me my groceries to the curbside. Thank you.
All right, so you and I are both on an agreement on this. We're going to post the poll. Norma, you should put the poll on this week to see how many people agree with us. Is your grocery store changing the aisle layout the literal worst? We want to know yes or no. Norma will have it on her Facebook page.
The literal worst. Yeah, at Norma Holland on Facebook.
Yes, and Instagram. And
let us know what you think. I think it is, personally, you know.
I think it's horrible.
Although I will say a close second is touching the handle on the grocery cart of someone who left.
You're
maybe
still hung up on this. You're
clammy
still...
hands.
Oh.
And you go and touch it next, and you pray. You're like, Lord, you know, be a handy wipe, you know, to wipe this thing clean, because ew, with a side of ew. Okay.
Norma has what we call PTSD. post-traumatic shopping
disorder.
Yes. So, with that note, enjoy your 4th of July, everybody.
Yes, everyone.